Good evening, everybody. How you doing? It's 2 for Tuesday, and it's me and the wee lad, Paddy and Judd, in for our weekly chat for just about an hour. We don't stay on much longer than an hour. It's just about a chat, the things we've got during the week. Unfortunately, I'm not as well off as Justin because I only got one knife and a multi-tool this week. I think Justin has about 4 knives, and they're all gorgeous.
So he's your eyes, big lad.
He's going to do most of the good morning, good evening, crispy critter. How are you? Justin's going to show us what he got, what he thinks about it, because he's got some blade steels that he didn't know much about, but he knew he wanted them. So it'll be nice to hear what he thinks about them so far. So Judd, it's over to you,
fellas. How are you? How is everybody? Who have we got in? Actually, we've got 5 people. And it's been a busy week. As you can see behind me, I've actually been playing around with some technology and trying to get my collection sorted out. So here's for a laugh. This is what we're looking at. Can you see that, Stephen?
Yeah, that's it. So if you actually point into where that is, it's just behind you in your dresser. He has his knives drawer in his dresser.
In my wardrobe. My
hello,
lady
Dean. Hello, Paul,
me to do this. Unbelievable. Now Stephen gets a full room, of course. I only get a drawer. But as you can see, guys, I mean the oil collection's been coming on quite nicely. So shall I wander over here, Stephen, and show them what I got? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, show them what you got, and then you can bring them up for a close-up.
So can you still hear me here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so first off, little treats that I got myself. You still hear me?
Yep.
Little treats that I got myself. Now, as you can tell here, I'm a huge lover of Allocs. Okay? The Swiss Army knives in general, but I do love me Allocs, especially me multicolours. And I got myself a wee red cadet this week, or last week it was probably. Now there's a wee bit of wear on the edges, but honestly, the red Allocs always look a wee bit of.
Justin, you need to move it up a bit.
Say again.
You need to move it up a bit. You were completely off screen.
There.
Up, no, over towards the back of your wardrobe. That's it. That's lovely.
So there we have it. So see up that end, there's a wee bit of wear and tear on it, and apart from that, see, this is all new to me, fellas. So give me a break. This, as you can see, cadet, absolutely gorgeous little knife, and I've got several of them because they're one of my favorites. If I can get this right, there we go.
That's lovely.
Isn't that good? So that was one of them, and this was just a lovely week addition to the collection, because now I've got 4 cadets in multiple colors, 2 blues, 2 reds, and that will do me for a wee while yet. As you can see, I started collecting with this one, the 2020 model. Okay, everything's reversed.
That's
2020, and this was probably better that way around. Does that work better? There you go.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And that was the first year I started collecting sacks in anger, and that was lockdown year. So I mean, that's when I started collecting, and all of this has been generated really since then. So that's why the blue one and the limited edition Allocs really sort of has pride of place in here. I've also got the Pioneer in the same color. This one was an edition I got from Congi's Knife Sales, a really good bargain. It was 2018 special edition, and this is in berry red, which is slightly different from the standard red. I'm not sure if it picks it up in this light.
Oh yeah, you can't. It's lighter, isn't it?
It is slightly lighter.
Yeah.
And so you get 2 variations on the red, and then of course you've got a slightly different one here, which is the cadet, but it's got no key ring. And this was the cadet all colors, or special colors, special edition colors, which was, I bet people, the way I'm moving this around, people are going to get seasick by the time I finished here.
So I'm just glad I'm an old sailor.
The The difference being that this one just didn't have a key ring. But again,
It's a lovely color.
From the aqua. Yeah.
They're
So
both beautiful colors.
Variations on the blue.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice. Okay. So that was the first knife. But then the main event really kicked off with an addition to what is my GEC sort of mini collection in here. I've only got 3 GECs. I'm not like Stephen, who's got dozens. But I lucked out on this one, which is a lovely wee boy's knife, 15, with the spear point that Stephen kindly tidied up for me. And this one, I think I showed a couple of weeks ago, but it was the other one that I got quite recently. And it's just a cracker. I've been looking for one of these for ages, and it was a really good price on it again. Okay. Stephen did a lovely touch-up on it. Again, it was much loved, but also well used, I think is the only way to describe it. And then, of course, I went absolutely buck daft. All right. So, got a Chaparral. Okay.
That is beautiful.
And that's the Raffia Noble Chaparral. And I have to say, that's an XHP, and it is absolute. That's a stunning knife. I absolutely love it. It has hardly been out of my pocket, in spite of the fact that it shouldn't be in my pocket most of the time. It has barely been out of my pocket.
Show the show side. Turn it over to the show side.
And there we go.
Look at that. That is stunning.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I've had this in hand, and it feels amazing. First time I'd ever held one.
I mean, it's just such a beautiful knife in hand. It fits my hand perfectly. You know what I've always said about my hand. But that was that one. But then it just went crazy from there on, Stephen, as you know. And what I started looking at was what else in the Spyderco, because I had the Manix 2, and I think we've said this before. The Manix 2, I found the Manix 2 just a little bit too big for me. And this is the Manix 2 Lightweight, which is a cracking knife. I mean, it's really comfortable. I agree with you, Stephen. It's a little bit aggressive in the texture of the handles, but that's not the real problem with me. For me, it's just too big for me. So I was looking for something similar, but smaller. And the Chaparral sort of fitted into that really nicely. But then what I learned about Spyderco is that Spyderco has a knife for everybody. No matter what your hand shape is, no matter what size you are, no matter what your preference is, Spyderco have a knife for every season and every possible possible excuse or reason. So I happened upon this little beauty, and this is the Sage 1. It's the backlock it's the liner locked version of the Sage. And it is just a cracking knife. And what's even better about it, Stephen? Tell the punters what's better about this.
Well, what's even better about it, that this is our knife. I just haven't got it yet. This is in Maximate, and a beautiful G10 handle, which is it looks gorgeous.
So, I mean, you know what I was like, guys. I mean, Stephen's your high-end user, so I was stunned to be able to get a steel of this quality on a knife, and I just jumped at the chance when I had the opportunity. So I'm absolutely delighted with it. Apart from anything else, it is like the Chaparral, a little bit bigger, and a form factor that I love. It is absolutely perfect for me in hand, and it goes so nicely with the other Spydercos there. Of course, if we wanted to bring the family completely down to size, I've got my wee Dragonfly in VG10 that sits there nicely as well and behaves himself. If we wanted to add in the Tenacious, we could do that too. So that's my Spyderco collection. I've actually got 5 Spydercos. 2 of which are here overnight. That's me.
I think the man bug has got to be next for your collection.
And just to make it absolutely tiny as well.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But
I'm
it's
thinking actually. Then you mentioned the native the other night, Stephen. So that might
yeah.
be on the cards because it sort of falls between. Is it falls between the chaparral and the sage?
Yeah, it would. I mean, I've never had the sage. I've had the native, and it probably is somewhere between. I think you would enjoy the native more than the Maximate one.
Oh, really?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think it'll put you off the Maximate one.
Yeah. Do you see a wee trade in your future going on?
Oh, I definitely see we trade. I'm gonna wait till the rent man's at the door, and I'm coming round.
But yeah, I mean that was mine. I sort of went a wee bit daft, but it was fantastic. Yeah, thanks lads. That was thanks Dean. Yes, it's coming on nicely. It's thanks to the influence of your man here. It's got some lovely knives in it now. So
It's
apart
funny.
from my lovely sacks.
I had the pleasure of sharing his knives. He shared his knives with me during the week, and just the joy of seeing his face when you get offers. He got about 2 offers, 3 offers in a row that he couldn't have refused for the price. They were
Yeah.
fantastic prices, and he done the right thing. Buy when you can, if you get the price that's really suitable to you. And he has just a lovely collection of Spydercos now.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is fantastic. It's just a question of how to stop. And it's a funny thing because I mean, I was watching the show last night, Stephen, and I think while you covered most of the insights into price and value and everything else, you did forget one thing, and that was the collector's itch.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah,
sometimes you just have to have it, you know.
yeah,
So I mean,
exactly.
when we're talking about Jack Wolf knives, there's guys out there, it doesn't matter what the price is, they've just got to have the next one in the series, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
the same with my Swiss Army knives. I showed you. I mean,
Uh,
I've just spent more money than I should have buying those knives, but they released the special edition 2023 Pioneer X in from Victorinox yesterday or on Monday, and of course, as soon as it hit the shelf, I had to buy that as well. So it'll be with me on Friday. I really got to stop, and that's got nothing to do with the knife. It's got everything to do with it. It's the next little slot in the collection, you know. So it's, I mean,
but
it's
I mean,
appalling value.
the sort of thing I was talking about last night, you could add so many other wee bits into that. And probably the biggest one for me is visually. If I see something I visually am attracted to and I can afford it, I'll get it. And it's as simple as that. I mean, I drive a Hyundai. How many people choose to drive a Hyundai if they can afford a Mercedes? It's dead simple. I mean, that's the way I look at it. The Hyundai was a car I could afford. I liked the look of it, and I bought it. And bought it within 5 minutes of walking into the car sales room because it had everything I wanted. But if I could afford a Mercedes, I would have bought a Mercedes. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And knives are no different. It doesn't matter how big the object or how small it. We are driven by what we can afford and what our eyes see that we like.
yeah, it's very true.
And everybody's at a different place in their life and what they can spend and what they can't spend.
The good news is that it does, as you focus your attention, you do get into a little bit of saving up for the special bits and pieces, you know.
Yeah.
um that hasn't happened with me recently. What happened is that it just went daft and I just went daft. I forgot one, Stephen. Hang on, I forgot one.
Another one?
I forgot the back pocket.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So I came across this. I check that out.
Up closer to the camera. That's it. Look
Check
at the color.
that out. Isn't that a cracker?
Absolutely. That's a case back pocket knife. If Anita can't hear there, beautiful jigging, and the color is gorgeous.
Yeah, it was actually a Tony Bowes case special from 2012 or something like that. And I just couldn't
Yeah.
resist it. And I mean, actually, the yellow and the lime is really coming up on that, Stephen, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Really, really is. There's somebody. Oh, I'll just put that up there. Dean, how you doing? It's nice to see you. And I believe you've just got your first Benchmade 940. What do you think of it? It's still my grill knife. I'll always love it. But what do you think of it now you've got it in hand? And were you shocked at how small it was when you first seen it? Yes, Pete, I love my Hyundai. I have to say it's just been a joy. I've had it about 4 years now. I bought it when I got my Navy pension, the lump sum, and I bought it straight away. I love it. But I would still have a Mercedes if I had the cash. So let us know, Dean, if you can, what you think of it, the size of it, and in use. I mean, that's another knife that I think with this modern trend towards ultra slicey blades, the likes of the 940, people give it a really bad rep because it's it's a bit thicker behind the edge. Well, I dropped my edge back in mine, and I actually have a concave edge on mine. Is it convex where it's rolled over, and I love it. I just love it for cutting anything. And maybe I have to push a wee bit harder going through cardboard, but is that really a problem? It's a bit of a first world problem for me.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about here. I mean, you were talking yesterday about minutiae, and that's what it comes down to. It's the minutiae of experience. And I mean, a blade will cut. It's if that's what you need and what you want. And half of it's cosmetic, definitely. It's what the knife looks like as much as anything else. And then you get into pragmatics in terms of how well it actually operates. And that's only if you need to operate it or use it for a full range of stuff. What have you got?
I just wanted to... This had sort of started the conversation. This is the Javelina Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. And just to let you know, out of the 5 models is up, I think 3 of them only have one left at Fraymar Knives. Now I'll put it down when we go off live. I'll put it in the comments. It's fraymarknives.co.uk, and 3 of them, I think, is only one left. There's one with 3, and the micarta, which is a natural color micarta, I think there's 4 of them left. And if Justin gets a chance, he could show you. He has got 2 of the micarta Jack Wolf knives that have been RIT dyed, and they look amazing. So the natural's the perfect one to get if you've never tried it for RIT dyeing, and it takes about 2 minutes in the pot.
There you go, lads.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They were both, the blue one, the royal blue, was the black micarta, and the red one was the natural micarta. And it just takes a dye in literally about 2 minutes was all I dyed them for, and they come out beautifully.
Absolutely. I think one of the guys on Jack Wolf Worldwide, Frank Store, I think his name is, he dyed it in blue. He dyed the black micarta in blue as well, but he bleached the micarta slightly beforehand, so the blue came out as a royal blue as opposed to a navy blue that one has. So you can get a little bit of variation on it as well.
Yeah.
But the wine color of the red is just perfect on the Midnight Jack. And that blue was a revelation when you did it, really, wasn't it, Stephen? Even Jack.
Yeah, I was surprised at how good it came out. Yeah. I mean, I'd never done a black before. Granted, it wasn't a very dark black.
It was more of a grey, wasn't it?
Yeah. It hadn't got the oils of your hand on it, so it was able to get done pretty quickly. Hello, Byron. How you doing? Really nice to see you, my friend. Usual suspects are in there. All the reprobates.
Indeed, we are. And there's Randy. Randy sounded like an Osborne someday. You and me both, Randy. One of these days, we'll manage to get an Osborne, and a Benchmade 940 will come up nicely.
Randy, I was the same. I used the Gansbo as my 945 for a couple of years. I loved it. Beautiful big knife. Done everything I wanted it to do. Again, it wasn't particularly thin behind the edge, but hey, it cut.
Right. We'll take a sort of roll call very quickly, Stephen. We've got Crispy Critter, Dean P, Michael Cav, Paul 13, Jersey's in, Gizmo's in, and we've also
Gizmo. There he is.
And who else? We've got Jose Gonzalez, and Spiros is in, of course. Spiros all the way from Greece again. And we've got, I'm assuming you're living in Greece, Spiros. And we've got Byron, and that's us. A good show. Thank you all for joining us, fellas.
Sorry, I was just looking at Gizmos there. If you can pull them up, he just bought one of the red tulips from Twisted Assisted, the Twisted Tulip. But if you've never seen the video, I don't know whether you're subscribed to him, but go over. He's a really nice lad. It's the Big Canucker. He's a Canadian reviewer, and he had the Best Tech version of this and proceeded to try and flick it open, like I just done here. You have to he's big hands, he's a big lad, and he went to flick it open, dropped it, and it went straight down and cut a gash in his leg like you wouldn't believe. But he had to go to the hospital, and he took a video while they were stitching up his leg. But you should go and see what this tiny little knife done to his leg. It's on his video. It's amazing how much damage this wee knife can do.
It is a cautionary tale, really, isn't it?
Very much so.
Never underestimate the wee fellas.
Oh, you got right under with that one.
Oh, aye. Any opportunity, Stephen, any opportunity. Okay, right, lads.
So, do you want to see what I got this week?
Go on, show me. Not as if we haven't seen it 4 times already.
Yeah, I think probably most people have seen it. It's loosening up. I don't have to flick it with my wrist to get it open. I got one of my,
look at that,
always wanted. I got the Chris Reeves 31, Sebenza 31 in, what's it called again? Box Elder wood. And this is one of the first 31, so this is still in S35 VN, so it'll probably not last more than a couple of weeks with that rubbish steel. So I just adore it. And strangely enough, when you sharpen it, it gets really, really sharp. So I can't get it out of my pocket.
Aren't you sharpening it? Strangely enough. How you find it in hand and in pocket, though?
You know, it is loosened up. When they come, they're really stiff. This knife hadn't been used. And look, they're hydraulic when you open them. There's not a jitter. You just feel nothing as you're opening it. And when you're closing it, it is such a beautiful feeling. I could do that all day. Well, I have been doing that all day for about a week. I took it out of my pocket this afternoon and put one of my GECs in it just to get it out of my pocket because it's just beautiful. Everything I thought it would be, it is. I'm over the moon with it. That'll not leave. So I got that. I traded and I had to put a couple of £100 of cash, but well worth every penny. And I traded my Hyundai for it. And I also was in a good trading week. I got this, which is the Leatherman Super Tool 300, which is not a new Leatherman by any means. This is one of their older, but it's one of the. This is just a cracking big tool, much bigger than the Wave. Huh? It's black, yeah, oxide black, yeah. And it's much bigger than the Wave, which is the one I have. So this really is one that this would do for bushcraft, and to give you that extra couple of wee tools and a big pair of pliers, especially if you're going to use wire and things like that. But it's a real working tool. It's a working man's tool, big handle, very comfortable, great tools on it. I have a video up. I've done a video on it this afternoon, so rather than do it now. But you see when they come, this wasn't used. It came in a box brand new. It was full of black grease, and my hands, if you'd have seen my hands so I had to wash it all down and oil it, so it's still a bit stiff, but really pleased with it, I have to say. Nice sheath. And then I put my nice new torch along with it.
Very nice.
So I was really happy. And that's all I've had this week.
There's your first comment on the Sabenza anyway.
All right. I don't really go for a Sabenza, and I don't like the ones with micarta inlays, but the box elder is gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, if I'd have got one with a micarta handle, it wouldn't have bothered me, because if I didn't like the color, I would have just dyed it, as long as it wasn't jet black. But yes, I'm much happier. I always wanted the wood. And the reason I really wanted this one is they do a Nunde, the little small locking knife, a little pocket knife that they do, and it comes in the box elder as well. So that's my hunt. Well, I can't afford it at the minute, but after I've gathered my my finances a bit, I'm on the hunt for a Nunde. So if anybody's got one in box elder, I can't remember that name, box elder wood, and they want to trade, I've plenty to trade.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else on your radar?
Jersey's after as well.
That's the one. Yeah, Jersey's got a couple of he's a couple of lovely Sabenzas, and he does like his Chris Reeve as well.
And Gizmo's got Gizmo, did I ever? Absolutely. Yeah, we sort of mentioned it that at one of the last podcasts that we're having, something like 39 models, and they're getting rid of the entire Delamont range as well. So, and the saddest thing about it is that a lot of the 84mm ones are going. I mean, they've already discontinued the 74mm, you know, like this is the ambassador, but the executive as well is going. So, or it went last year allegedly, even though it was still selling. But yeah, they're discontinuing a lot of models. I think they're just trying to tighten their range, and it'll be interesting to see if they branch out and do anything a little bit either retro or innovative. I'm not sure if they've got innovation in them anymore, because they're so solidly based on what they produce. But yeah, it's been a bit of a revelation this time around. Which one are you going to be sorry to lose, by the way? Which one are you going to be sorry to lose?
Justin, what do you call the ones, the other model with the black handles? Got the wee black grip on them. What's that model?
Ooh. Now, which one are we talking about?
I'm looking at the overall name for that model. I've forgotten it.
This one, the executive, the one that you have?
The other ones, the other make. You got the Sachs, and then the other brand with the grip tape and all on it.
Oh,
what do you call that?
Oh, is that Suiza? Oh no, Wenger.
The one we're going to discontinue.
Oh, the Delamonts, yes.
Delamont. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah. My head went completely blank. If I was to pick a Delamont, do you like the Delamonts?
Personally, no. I don't like the what do you call them? The Evo handles. I don't like the contoured handles, to be honest. They make them too big for me.
Right. If anybody out in the audience there who has got any of the Delamonts, I'm looking for a Delamont. I don't want a huge one. I want a 2-layer. And could anybody give me advice? What's the best 2-layer in their opinion of the Delamont range? Because I want to buy one before they all disappear, just so that I have one.
Yep.
Thank you, Byron.
Good grief. That's interesting.
I just seen that tonight. Stasa had just bought one with a regrind and bearings. I could think of nothing worse for a Sabenza. That action that a Sabenza has is what makes a Sabenza. To me, Stasa, I mean, anybody else could do what they like. It's just definitely not for me. I'm more old school.
Yeah. And then we've got, yes, Paul, I agree. The manager, same size as the classic, but with the Phillips and the wee pen just for everybody. Okay, here we go. If you want managers, there's the Midnight Manager with the torch. And then we have a brass manager, which isn't a manager because it doesn't have the pen. It's a Rambler. So we've got that one there.
anything with those 2 layers and 4 tools. Oops.
They're just super.
And then
I have the Rambler.
There's the classic. Where are we? There's the classic manager there. Which the thing that distinguishes, for goodness sake, I'm trying to get my orientation right. The thing that distinguishes the manager is it's the same as the Rambler, but it's got the pen.
What's the pen in place of?
Either the tweezers or the toothpick. You choose basically.
All right. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'd like to get one of them as well.
Manager's a cracking wee thing to have. It's always been one of my favorites. And the Midnight Manager, I think they're discontinuing everything with the torches in them. The signature and the classic light or whatever it's called. I think they're getting rid of everything with the torch, and it's a real pity because see the Manager, it is, for me, I think it is the ultimate all-in-one EDC. Because the way we always talk about, you always have to have something to cut with, something to light your way with, and something to write with as a bare minimum. I know there's an awful lot more to it than that, but the Manager seems to package everything, or the Midnight Manager seems to package everything.
I think that's the one. I'm going to get a Midnight Manager.
Tiny
Hello, budget knife guy. You're so welcome to our channel. We never have a set day. We just keep moving it about, and we have one a week where we just talk for about an hour about anything and ask any questions. So please join in. I was looking for somebody to help me with that. I've forgotten the name of that blooming thing again.
Delamont.
Anybody give me a 2-layer Delamont that's got all the tools that they like and why they like it? I'd love to hear if anybody's got one.
Yep. Now is the time to buy them, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we're 30 minutes in or so, Stephen. So I think it's time for some questions. I mean, we need some questions here. Stephen's been hoarding his he's been hoarding what passes for his intelligence just so he can answer your questions, guys. Let's see if we can make him sweat. Come on.
Is that so? All JB's in it. What have you got in your sights for your next knife then?
You trying to kill the for me? Okay. Sorry, the dog has just joined me.
What have you got in your sights for your next knife, Justin?
Well, as I say, I've ordered that abomination that is the new Pioneer X.
Yes.
So it should be here at the end of the week. I think I should take a huge breath and relax for a while after that.
Do you know, I've had a busy couple of weeks buying knives and trading for knives, and I need to sit back and just play with the ones that I've got, because every time you get a new one, you want it to stay in your pocket.
I know, it's the truth.
But otherwise, you bought a bad knife. So, I mean, but it's so difficult to do that when there's one that you maybe want to carry more than others. So I'm going to just sit back for a while and have a couple of weeks of just enjoying what I've got. Because when you're a collector, you can get carried away, and then you don't get to enjoy the knives.
No, it's true. And the thing about it is, I found myself over the last few days, as I was sort of tidying up the drawer behind me, because I knew I wanted to try that out, was how much fun it was just going through the knives in your collection that you haven't handled in a long time. And I was opening them up and checking them out, and all of a sudden I realized, jeepers, some of these really need sharpened. So I'm going to use it as an excuse to practice my sharpening skills again. So this weekend,
you have been saying that for about 6 months.
I know, but it's been cold. My wife doesn't let me sharpen anywhere than in the shed, and that sounds really dodgy. So we'll move on very swiftly from that and see if anybody's got a question.
Somebody was asking a question there about he's looking forward to something similar to the SD, but with the addition of a Phillips driver. Well, I have the answer for you right here. There it is. Oh, do you want to put me up big for that one?
Yep. Hold on a wee sec. Where am I? There you go.
There's the Rambler. Now, this one just happens to be in brass, but it comes in the red scale as well. You have a pair of scissors, you have a blade, you have your nail cleaner and the wee file, and then you have this fantastic tool, which is a bottle opener, a wire stripper, and it's got the Phillips head. Oh,
Up a bit higher.
Yeah, I need to get it up there. They are. It has a Phillips head, which is just, I just think this is fantastic as a little knife.
The Rambler is a hard one to beat. The Rambler, or any variation on the Rambler, absolutely fantastic. Why they don't do the combo tool with the Classic, I don't know. Probably because they don't need to, as with everything with Victorinox. But that's what you got. We've got a couple of things. We've got,
But do you not think, just to go back to that, you see a 91 millimeter with one of those Phillips screwdrivers on it. Do you not think that will be great? It'll be a bigger version, but I think it'd be fantastic.
Well, the 91 has. I mean, the Explorer, the one that you had, the one that I made for you, has got the Phillips inline on it. And the standard version is the Explorer.
But I think the one I'm talking about, that one there with the bottle opener as well, it's just a handy one to have.
Oh, sort of as a combo tool?
Yeah, and get rid of them front two tools and make it a combo tool.
Well, it'd be interesting, I suppose. I mean, it'd be better. It'd be an improvement on the compact combo.
Yeah.
The compact combo tool, which is that one.
You need to put yourself up, Justin.
Yeah. Which is that one. And the compact combo tool has got just a flathead screwdriver, but it's really kind of insipid. It's not the most positive screwdriver in the world because it's compromised on everything. Now, it's a great bottle opener and it does the job as a screwdriver, but you're quite right. Some variation on the Rambler with a Phillips head would be fantastic, you know.
But for this country, I don't know whether the rest of Europe's the same. How often do you get a flathead screw?
Very true.
I mean, now if you use cameras and their stands and all, apparently they're useful for that. But I don't have any of that, so I very rarely use a flathead screw. I think they're more common in America than what they are here, but I'm not sure about the rest of Europe.
I honestly, it's mostly going to be crossheads or Phillips. Yeah, you're quite right.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's see. We've got to throw up a few questions. We've got a comment here from the budget guy who's saving up for an artisan sea snake. What's an artisan sea snake?
It's a fixed blade. It's done by the knife sharpener. He used to do knife sharpener. I can't think of his name. Probably Jersey will know his name. He has a YouTube channel, but he designed it and it was made by Artisan. And it's a beautiful little fixed blade.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. I can't remember the fella's name. He's quite an opinionated, outspoken sort of a fella.
Right. And would this be it? Hold on a wee second. Let me see if I can share this.
Mike Elmer, Mike Elmler, EMLER. He designed the sea snake. All right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Beautiful knife, especially if you like a Wharncliffe blade.
Oh, yeah. It's rare to see a fixed blade in a Wharncliffe.
Yeah. It wouldn't be my first choice as a fixed blade, but it is a lovely knife, lovely looking. It got really good reviews.
Well, I mean, given that question, that brings us on to Crispy's question very nicely. It's a perfect segue. What would be your fixed blade grail? If not that one, that one or something like it?
It would probably be very simple. I would like one of the GEC fixed blades. I just haven't found one that was right at that time for me. There's plenty of them out there. It's one of those grails that I'm not in a rush to get it, if you know what I mean, but I would like one eventually. I'm just getting into fixed blades, and I've already bought about 3 this year. And I've liked the smaller ones, I've had this one for years now. This is I always have to look. This is the LT Wright, the little Frontier. I just love this little small 3 fingers, 3.5 fingers, beautiful little fixed blade. And I've got it in a pocket sheath, and it just goes in my front pocket. Love it.
Yeah. All of my fixed blades are in the shed. I'm not allowed to keep them in the house. It's funny. It's funny. I last year, as part and parcel of the continuing or obsession, I started buying blade blanks and then hafting them. And honest to God, it was so much fun, Stephen. It really was. I put sort of hardwood on a bushcrafting knife, and then I got a small one, a necker, kind of a Brisa necker, I think it was, and put blue denim micarta, and it was really fun working with the blue denim micarta. But see the revelation of grinding down Corby bolts on a belt sander, and the heat that generates, that's kind of scary stuff. So it is, but it was absolutely brilliant fun. It really was. And I ended up with a few knives that are, you could buy them off the shelf, absolutely, but they're mine, and they're unique to me. It's which is really cool. So
they always say when you do something yourself to a knife, it does make it yours for life. I mean, it's just because it's what you want.
Yeah, well, the marks on it are all mine, believe me, because every now and again it would slip on the belt sander, and there'd be a wee stripe of metal would come out of it, when it should have been the handle. But I was learning. What can I tell you?
Somebody asked me a question there. Are you still using the twisted assisted gambler?
Well, we haven't got them yet.
No, we haven't. No, sorry, that's gone back. That was just one for loan when I got it. They should be due very, very soon, next month at the latest, I think.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we got one from James. That's right.
And to be honest, Byron, it wouldn't be too tall. I think a tall, small blade is a nice way to go. It gives you that rigidity. You know what I mean? Gives you a feeling that you've got a bigger knife than what you actually have. And I think it can do a bit more work. Even though it's a small knife, to cut through something. Say you just want to, you don't want to use your, I don't want to make fun of this, but you don't want to use your sack knife to use a saw on a hard bit of wood. To just use one of those knives to get in, break, pull till you bend the branch and then do it. A nice tall blade is great for doing things like that in the bushcraft sort of scene.
Okay. Well, we've got Gizmo's answer to your question earlier on.
I'd seen it, but it's away again now.
There you go. The M23 red.
The M23 red. Right. I'm going to write that down.
Evolution M23.
Evolution M23.
Yeah.
M23 red. I should look at that after this and then see when I can afford it. And I'm going to get one just to keep. And Gizmo never gives me a bum deal.
It's very true. That is very true. Then we've got Budget, who's just got his Grail folder.
Which is?
A Wenger Ranger. Good grief. A 56. Budget. And you were really kind of annoyed by how easy it was to get. Yeah, no. Sometimes the search is what adds value to the whole thing, sauce to the goose and all that, I suppose. And is that one of the big Rangers? Because that would be 130 millimeter then, Budget guy. I don't have any of them. I stopped at 111 millimeter in the lockers for sacks.
I've got two of them. Let me just see if I can get them out. They're in a very Yep, here they go. I've got two of the big ones. Actually, one's in my go bag. Actually, I can't get it out. But I've got this big. What's that one?
Yeah, that's the Outrider.
That's the Outrider, but I've got the bigger one.
Do you have 130 mil one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's massive. It is absolutely massive. It's something you really could take camping and it would be very useful. Where did I put it? It's in one of my bags. And that means nothing to anybody, but I don't know where I put it.
Don't worry about it. Crispy's just saying that he got his great. It's a Fiddleback Forge.
Yeah, it's an American knife maker, I believe, in it.
By Andy Wright. Bear Cub in Shockwood. Now that sounds like a knife I'd like to see, I have to say. What on earth is shockwood? You come across that one before?
There's so many different woods now, you just couldn't keep up with it. Somebody was asking, have I done any testing on the Dozier and D2? No, and I think that's what I was sort of saying there earlier on. I've had quite a few knives, and I haven't had the chance to just take a bit of time with them, do a bit of cutting and see how they're doing. I mean, as you can see, there's not a mark on the blade. It's been sitting because of, I just had other knives come in and they just taken the place. But I'm hoping now, probably next week, to have a good go at this, cut a bit of wood with it, do a few cardboard boxes. I might even just do a wee live cutting on the channel next week and use the wee Dozier, because I think it's just fabulous little knife. It looks so plain, but you see when you put it in your hand, I just love this knife, really do. Can't recommend it highly. And there's another one I haven't had to do anything with, was the Kaiser T1. This is an absolute gorgeous knife. I can't believe you get this for the price, about 70, but look at that. It's just, I cannot believe you can get this sort of a knife at this sort of a price. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. The micarta is gorgeous on it. Yeah, so I need to do that. I need to just sit back and just have a play with my new knives. Thank you very much indeed, Robert. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
Well, that's 50-50, Stephen. It's 50-50.
Oh, definitely. It all goes to, it goes somewhere. Oh, it goes into mine.
Oh, so we've got, let's see. There was Baron, I think that was Gizmo saying about the evolution. Yeah, Baron was just saying about the Gambler and whether we had to because it was the prototype, Baron. We had to give it back to James almost immediately after we'd sort of reviewed it and how did we play around with it. But it was it was enough to make me sign up and to the Kickstarter for it. So it's I'm looking forward to mine arriving in March, April, probably.
Yeah.
Time.
I think he couldn't even give a date in March because this is Chinese New Year as well. So they're not going to do much at the minute.
True.
But it should be March. There hasn't been any delays so far, touch wood.
Well, and by way of all things obsessive, I'm already starting to think about, what my card scale is, scales will I get to replace the G10 on the one I've ordered.
Yeah, I think I'll order the micarta definitely.
Because it's a cracking wee knife, and the additional bits and pieces that you can get for it sort of make it a little bit special. So if anybody hasn't checked out the Gambler, go to Twisted Assisted and see if you can read up on it. Even if you just check out their Kickstarter, you'll be able to.
You sort of missed the Kickstarter, but he'll have plenty more of them. He's doing a big batch. You just get 10 on his Kickstarters. You get £10 off whatever the knife costs. The budget knives. £10 off's a lot of money for a budget knife to get off, but you get that for the Kickstarter. But he makes a whole batch of them. If you go back on my channel, I have a video up on the knife itself, the Gambler, Twisted Assisted Gambler.
There you go.
Thank you, Robert. Really appreciate it. Stop in again anytime. Whenever you see it, hit that wee bell button and it'll let you know whenever we're up. And anybody out there, if you're leaving, would you hit the like button as you're going? Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I think over 50% people who watch your videos are not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button and the bell button, and then you get notified when we come on. Maybe that's a scary thought. Don't hit the bell button.
That's probably a reason not to do it as much as anything else. But what are you going to do?
Aye.
Robert, all the best. See you later, mate. Okay. And there's Tony.
Tony's in as well. How are you? Late to the party. How are you, Tony? You got anything new this weather? Have you got any new knives, Tony? I'm left-handed. I don't understand why the Dozier and the CRK knives Only have a thumb stud. I believe the dozier you can just, the dozier you can just unscrew and change it round. There's on the flat side, there's a Phillips, a small Phillips. You just unscrew it and change it round, and it's also, you can change the clip round to the front, so it is ambidextrous. This is a great one for your left-handed.
Slide Tech was busy playing with a knife. Well, at least it's appropriate.
Would be nice to see you on Elmer's feed.
Who's Elmer's?
Would be great. I've never been on Mike's feed. I used to follow him an awful lot years ago when he was doing the sharpening. He sharpens by hand, but he has a method all of his own, and he's just amazing sharpener. To watch him is amazing, but I don't think he's doing it much anymore, the sharpening. I'll be checking that out, Tony. If you're not following Tony with Slide Tech on Instagram, he's just a photographic genius. His photographs of his knives are amazing, and he picks some beautiful spots in California where he resides to take pictures. Highly recommended.
What's the event in New Orleans, Slide Tech? Or New Orleans?
I'm sure that'll be probably be a custom.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Tony has some of the most beautiful custom knives, honestly. They make you drool at the chin.
Now that I'd like to see. Stephen, this is the thing. This is the thing that we got to get some of these guys to come on and show us their knives. I mean, I've shown off my collection, and I hope that everybody got as much fun out of it as I did. But it would be nice to see, invite some people on and actually get them to showcase a couple of their knives, even for a few minutes.
Definitely,
it would be lovely.
Well, I shall certainly contact somebody who's on here now. Very sure there's a couple of people on here. I'll give them a quick contact during the week and see if we can get them on for the next one.
Well, what we can do, Stephen, is we can say, look, it's 10 minutes max. If you can't get your message across in 10 minutes max, we're throwing you out. And then that means that anybody who's camera shy doesn't have to be embarrassed for too long. Do you know
what I thought, Justin? I was in bed the other night thinking of you. Not a good thought.
Jeepers. You need to up your medication, mate.
I think we should ask people who want to come on for 10 minutes, but tell them to bring 3 knives that shows their personality or their collecting, where they are in their collecting, what sort of knives that they like to pick up in any price range. If it's 3 budget knives, 3 budget knives. If it's a high end, a middle, and a low, fine, that'll do it. But 3 that sort of typically lets people know what their collecting is like. So 3 knives, 10 minutes, quick. You're not going to talk for very long, and we're not going to grill you. It's just to see what your knives are.
Absolutely. Tell you what,
if anybody, sorry,
if anybody's interested, stick the details in the comments, and we'll see about responding to it. Now, I mean, it all depends on whether or not we like you. So we're very picky, i.e. low bar, very low bar. So you don't have to do much. But if you've got 3 knives, to be honest, let us know what the knives are you're going to showcase, because that's probably going to cause more interest than actually the social side of things.
Look, can you PM me on Instagram? Because half the times I'll miss it. If it goes on the videos, sometimes I don't get the look. So if you PM me on Instagram, if you want to come on, if you're willing to come on, just let us know. There's no rush. We'll sort of once a week we're on doing this wee chat. So you'll only be coming on for, say, 10 to 15 minutes. If you're enjoying it and you want to stay on and there's no booze in the audience, just stay on for as long as you like. We're only on for an hour.
Hey, be careful that now. I'm the editor-in-chief in here, Stephen. So
you said we had to like them. If I don't like them, they'll not be on here.
Unfortunately, he hasn't kicked me off yet. The only reason he hasn't kicked me off is because he doesn't know which button to press.
And nobody else lives in Bangor that likes knives.
I'm sure there's somebody else.
I just haven't met them yet. I'm looking. I'm on that.
Slide Tech, he's on a paddle boat. down on the Mississippi. Good grief! You need to show. You
Showing a
need to see
paddle.
some
How
photographs of
cool would that be? Well, you would have to have, what is that knife? The old, it's the gambler's knife. It's like a dagger, that the old gamblers used to use. There was a knife. There was a brand that used to make the what was it? It was for the gamblers used to carry. It was a very ornate sort of a knife. Can't think what it is. Who was it had it on his channel? Yeah, it'll come to me. Like everything.
Baron's worried. Now,
Gizmo.
Baron, we all love Gizmo, but come on, it's not a popularity contest. Okay.
I'm going on with Gizmo. You don't get to come on with anybody. You come on your blooming self. We want to grill you. You Cardi Cat jersey. And Pete, you will come on. I'm the only banjo player in Seville.
That's like being the only knife guy in banjo.
But I'm the only guy in the village.
Paul, that means that there is at least one other guy who plays the banjo in Seville. I mean, by definition.
Bring your banjo, Paul, when you're coming on.
Absolutely. Now we've got Robert. That is very generous of you. Thank you very much, even for the compliment.
Oh, Robert, I'm just in my 60s as well. So you'll be coming on with good people. Justin's only 21, but he's had a hard life.
Or, and I keep on telling you, I've got friends and families, mate. It's amazing what plastic surgery can do these days. That's all I'm saying.
What's even more important, it's amazing what it can't do.
There's a limit. Fortunately, I've got a really good sort of auto filter on the camera on this thing, you know.
Yeah, took me ages to put the lipstick on and the eyeshadow. No,
Crispy saying it's a boot dagger. Yes, absolutely. Would be slipped into your cowboy boots. Yeah. Yes, Slytech, you give my love to the Big Easy. I was there in 1990, I think. I was there in New Orleans. I think it was before Katrina and everything. So I have very good memories of Bourbon Street and the Café du Monde, eating beignets in the Café du Monde, and it was a fantastic city. It really was. No, Randy, I do not have a channel, nor will I ever have a channel, because I am not crazy like this old soak beside me. So it's not going to happen.
Tony, you're a year older than me. I knew you looked much older, but only a year. I'm surprised. Now we're coming up on the hour, folks. We'll try to keep it an hour because it's a friendly time. If you've got any questions, we'll answer a few questions if there's any up there before we head off. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Yeah, I'm going to have to pester Tony a wee bit. I haven't seen his new knives in a long while.
Yeah, that's true. And there's the budget guy. He's just teasing us now, Stephen.
What's he saying? He's
saying his problem is with showing my knives. He's got a lot of banger gifts I got from amazing people, and he couldn't choose 3.
Well, pick the other ones. Hey, Jersey said he's going to come on. I'm going to hold him to that.
Excellent.
So yeah, hit me up on the Instagram if you would like to come along, and just come in for a wee spot. You can stay 5 minutes if that's all you want, but you can stay for the hour if you want to. Well, depending on how funny you are. There has to be some sort of humor or you're gone. We should actually get one of those chairs, you know, with a big handle that they get ejected from.
And we should get like a laughometer or something like that, you know, going. Honestly, this is getting way too ambitious for us, Stephen. we need somebody with a lot more skills. So
thanks, Tony.
That was Tony's last purchase, apparently. What's a Lerman Sigma 6?
It'll be an extremely beautiful knife. Doesn't matter. Just think of real beautiful knives, and it'll be like them.
Okay, I'm going to look it up after this. That's something to look
He
at.
has, and honestly, go onto his Instagram. You see some of his knives. They just, honestly, it's like pornography for the over 60s. It's just beautiful.
Knife porn. That's not a good thing. Here we've got an actual question from Jerb.
Oh, heaven.
Nice quality traditional that doesn't break the bank too bad. Do you rate case?
If you can see a case first, or you know somebody who's, find out, join a case group or another group that does it, where you can see pictures of it. You want to see the spine, you want to see the blade centering. That's the sort of things I feel you need with case at the minute. Although they have been getting better this year. I've got a whole selection of fantastic case knives, but most of them I either seen first or there were friends that sold them to me. And it's just be a wee bit careful on where you buy them.
Yeah, I mean, case are probably the more expensive. If you don't know your traditionals and you're just trying to get into them, then go Rough Rider all the way. Just to test the water, just to see what the models are like, because that's what Stephen told me is that check out the Rough Riders to see what they're like in hand, to see what patterns you like, and because they cost buttons. We're like $20, 20 quid, something like that for good, nice, pretty knives that are half decent quality. I mean, they're never going to be huge, massive collector's pieces or anything like that, but they're lovely, lovely knives to start getting yourself into. And there's advice from budget.
There's another great one if you want to start and get a really good knife at a reasonable price. This is £35. It's in carbon fiber. It's in VG10, which is absolutely fantastic for that price. But it is a beautiful Lanny's clip. It's a bit thick, but it cuts. It's a really beautiful knife. And that's from Twisted Assisted here in the UK. £35. Fantastic.
Okay, so if you want a quick threesome, there's Budget Guy who's recommended the classic carbons. So this is the big ram's foot classic carbon, and I love the pattern on this, but unfortunately this knife is badly centered. So the centering of it is way off, and I'm getting some blade wrap on it as well. But the thing about it was so cheap, it wasn't even worth the while sending it back, No. But it's still a good substantial knife. If you want to have a look at a classic pattern, that's the way to do it. That's another Rough Rider, and this is the one we recommended a number of weeks ago. This is the what one is this? This is the Warncliffe Rough Rider denim work knife. Is it?
Work knife, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
fantastic knife.
It's just a beautiful knife. Sorry, I'm trying to get there we go. Okay, and that's that blue in that, if you can see it. I'm not sure if you can, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the quality on this knife is outstanding. It really is. And again, less than 30 quid, Stephen, I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was in the 20s. Yeah.
And then if you want to try another classic pattern, there's a canoe. And that's a Queen canoe. You can get these pretty much anywhere. I think, you get them on Heine in the UK, or I would recommend, I would imagine you can get them virtually everywhere in the state. And again,
they're made by Smoky Mountain Knife Works now.
Yeah, absolute buttons for them. And again, just to see what a classic pattern looks like. And then all of these patterns then would be replicated at higher quality knives. So you could try out and see which ones you like, and then start thinking about what you'd like to spend some more serious money on.
There's a young fella, Doug Watkins. Somebody said he has a great collection of knives. Doug, hit me up, PM me on the Instagrams. You don't want me stalking you. Hit me up and come on here. And I love meeting new people. I don't really know you. I would love you to come on and show us some of your knives. That would be great. Somebody was saying Boker Treba. I love my Boker knives. Me and young Pete, where's my Bokers? Where's me Bokers? Oh, I'll tell you where they are. They're down here. I tidied all my drawers out and got new ones. This is one of my favorite knives, full stop. And I know it's one of Pete's. This is the Boker club knife. Now, it's a bit pricey, but oh my goodness, you're not going to get better quality than this. This one's in desert ironwood, which this camera is not going to pick up really, but it is a stunning, just a single blade spear point, perfect size in the hand, absolutely beautiful. Oh, let's get that over. Really lovely knife in the hand, great work knife, and it's got, I think this one has got 01 in this. I'm not sure what it is. I can't see it. I haven't got the right glasses on, but it's a beautiful knife, poker club knife, really beautiful knife.
And in terms of the budget side of things, Stephen, can you lay your hand on your old timers?
Yes,
you guys just mentioned a couple of shreds.
I like putting my hands on things.
Yeah, so Sally tells me. No, stop it.
You're going to get bored.
You should have barred me last year, mate, when we met.
You're only good looking. You're only good looking for a certain amount of time in this industry.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? And it's only on screen, never in person.
What am I looking for? Sorry.
Trade old timers.
I lose the plot very quickly. Old shred. Oh, that what you said, shred?
Yeah.
I've got a fancy shred. I'll not show that. Where is my shreds? Oh, here they are. There we go. Here we go. There's a shred. I've got old timers and I've got shreds.
It was the old timers. I was thinking the wee Stockman, or was it?
Yeah, the wee Stockman is beautiful. That's the wee Stockman. They're a shred old timer. Again, you can get these in the UK, so you're not having to import. Beautiful little Stockman. You have the spay blade. You have a beautiful sheepfoot blade. And you have a really nice, I've got a plaster at the end of that finger, and it's hard to get it in the nail nick, and a lovely clip point. But it's a really it's Delrin handles, they're saw cut, and it has the old timer shield on there, which is lovely. These are genuinely amazing knives. I mean, I've got quite a few of them, and I've bought them all blind nearly, and they're so good. They mightn't be centered. Look, when you're buying cheap pen knives, the centering, please don't make it that important. As you know, as long as it's not tearing the side of your blade out. When you're getting a Stockman, 9 times out of 10, they will rub eventually. Any knives do. Well, most knives do. But they really are lovely. But you can go down, you can get there's a wee Uncle Henry. And it's a lovely, it's a Stockman. Would you believe that's a medium Stockman? Oh, sorry. That's a medium Stockman. And there's an Uncle Henry Stockman, which is about the same size as the Peanut. But beautiful little knife. And for not a lot of money at all. Beautiful little knife. But I do love collecting the old American brands. You know, like the Remingtons, Bucks, things like that. They were really well made then. Really well made. And
there's Gadget Gus. Everybody say hello to Gadget Gus.
Hello, mate. How are you? Paul 13, how are you? You didn't cut yourself again? Yeah, I did. With my new Leatherman today, just a new tool to cut myself with. On a serrated blade. That's what's wrong. It was a serrated blade. I don't like serrations on a blade. Right.
I think that's about us, Stephen.
Yeah. Look, thank you, everybody. You made this a wee joy.
Thank you very much indeed, folks. And we will see you hopefully next week again at some stage. We don't know what day. It's always sort of randomized. But if not next week, then the week after, definitely. Don't like to stay away too long.
And again, there's Gadget Gush. If you watch this back again, we're looking for people to come on for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Bring 3 knives with you when you come on that sort of reflect your knife collecting. So that's great. Pete's going to collect. Tony's going to. We're having a stack of them. They're all going to. I'll have a stack. Doug, definitely looking forward to seeing you. No pressure, but there's a lot of Irish out in America.
Guys, thanks a million, fellas, and we'll see you. Yes, Tony, just 3. You can't be showing off.
You bring as many as you like.
Yeah, if they're as good as he says they are, then definitely.
Thank you so much, everybody. You really made this a lovely hour, and I've really enjoyed sharing it with you. Thank you. Anything last words from you, Judd?
That's us. Paddy and Judd out. All the best.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.